My 30M, GF, 32F of 6 months has changed her behavior recently and I want to leave. I met her earlier this year on a night out with some friends, and it just clicked. We started texting, then hanging out constantly, and within a month we were practically inseparable. She was chill, funny, smart. Honestly, I thought she was perfect. After about a month of being close friends, we made it official. We've now been dating for 6 months. We don't live together, but she stays at mine a lot since my place is closer to her job. At first, it felt great having her around. Easy, even. She always told me she loved how grounded I was, that I didn't care about chasing status or pretending to be someone I'm not. She said I made her feel safe. That really stuck with me. I thought, for once, someone saw me for exactly who I was. I've worked at the same retail job since I was 16. It's not fancy, but I know it inside out and I actually like it. No stress, decent pay, plus I make money trading crypto and stocks on the side. I'm not rich, but I'm stable and content. One thing about me, yeah, I still wear a lot of band tees. My friends and I were obsessed with this emo band growing up and I've collected probably over 50 of their shirts and jumpers. I still wear them all the time. They bring me comfort. When we started dating, she said it was cute. Even said she liked the band. She acted like she thought it was cool that I held onto something that made me happy. But lately, it's like everything she liked about me suddenly started bothering her. At first it was little jabs, comments like, "You still wear that shirt?" or "You don't get bored of dressing like that." Then she started in on my job too. Said I lacked ambition, that I was too comfortable, like I'd stopped trying to grow. I didn't think much of it at first. I figured she was just having a bad day or maybe joking in a harsh way. But it kept happening. The comments kept coming. And I started wondering if she ever actually liked the things she said she did. The turning point was one weekend when we had this full-blown argument over my clothes. I wore one of my favorite band tees, just a normal black shirt with the band's logo, and she looked at me like I'd shown up in clown makeup or something. She told me I needed to grow up and start dressing like an adult. I honestly laughed at first, thinking she was half joking. But she wasn't. She said it made me look stuck in the past. Like I hadn't evolved since high school. I was pretty taken aback. I told her those shirts were part of who I was, that I wasn't trying to make a fashion statement, they just made me happy. That I didn't care about trends or looking like I walked out of a Zara window display. We argued for hours. Eventually, just to calm things down, I agreed to go shopping with her. We picked out some stuff together, nicer shirts, jackets, that smart casual vibe. I'll admit, some of it looked pretty good. I didn't mind it. A few days later, I threw on one of my band jumpers because the new stuff was in the wash. Big mistake. She went cold. Wouldn't talk to me for hours. When she finally did, she said I was regressing and undoing the progress I'd made. I reminded her I never said I'd stop wearing the band stuff. We just bought new clothes, there wasn't some grand symbolic burning of the old me. But she wasn't having it. Said I was stupidly attached to things that were holding me back. That word stupid stung more than I expected. I've always had some anxiety and yeah, maybe a little OCD. Familiarity helps. Those shirts? They're more than clothes. They're comfort. She didn't get that. She didn't want to get that. Eventually, she pushed me to pack them up. Said it was the right thing to do. And like an idiot, I caved. I cried while putting them in boxes, and when she saw that, she just scoffed. Literally called me pathetic. I asked her to leave. A few hours later, she came back like nothing happened. Apologized half-heartedly and acted like I was doing some brave self-improvement thing. Like I was shedding dead weight. I nodded and said I'd donate them. But I didn't. Instead, I took the boxes to my work and asked my boss if I could store them there for a while. He was confused but didn't ask questions. I felt guilty lying, but I couldn't throw away something that mattered to me just because she didn't approve. When I got home, she'd already ordered me more new clothes. Said she was proud of me for finally acting like an adult. I smiled and said thanks, but something inside me cracked a little that day. And it's been cracking ever since. Just when I thought things were settling down, she started in on my job. She asked why I wasn't a manager, and I explained for the 100th time that I didn't want to be. I like my current role. No extra stress, no late-night emails. Simple. She didn't get it. Said I was wasting my potential, that I should be striving for more. I told her I already do. I have side income from crypto and stocks. I don't live paycheck to paycheck. But she didn't care, she wanted something to brag about. Then she said I should fight for a raise. That I should push for promotion so I could take her on nice trips and buy her nicer things. I just sat there like, wow. So it's not about what I want, it's about how I make her look? I told her straight up, my job isn't going to give me more money for more stress. There's no incentive. It's not even about the money, I just value peace. I told her if she wanted flashy, I'm not the guy for that. I thought she'd understand. Instead, she completely lost it. Called me useless. Literally said that word useless and stormed out. I just sat there feeling like a failure. It took me years to get to a point where I'm okay with who I am, and she shredded that in seconds. But the worst part? The next day, my boss pulls me aside. Says she called the store asking why I'm not a manager. I didn't even know how to react. Embarrassed? Violated? Furious? All of the above. Who does that? I couldn't believe it. She went behind my back to question my professional life. At my job, I've worked there over a decade. I have real respect there. And she just bulldozed through it like it was her business. That was the moment it hit me, I don't want this anymore. I don't want to be with someone who thinks she can bulldoze my identity just because she doesn't like how it looks from the outside. I want out. I also realized I barely see my friends anymore. She always wanted it to just be us. Slowly, she made everything about her. My clothes, my job, my time. Bit by bit, I started to vanish in my own life. And honestly, I don't even think she liked me. I think she liked the idea of fixing me, of shaping me into something that made sense for her Instagram or whatever. And I let it happen because I thought love meant compromise. But this wasn't love. The breakup wasn't even supposed to happen the way it did. I was at home thinking of how to do it gently, maybe at a cafe, somewhere neutral. I was planning out the words, trying to imagine how she'd react. My chest felt heavy just thinking about it. Then she showed up. No text, no warning, just walked in like she always did. It wasn't unusual, she had a key, but that day it felt different. Like she was walking into my space and I didn't want her there. That feeling alone told me enough. She noticed something was off immediately. Asked me what was wrong and I just blurted it out. I told her I lied about donating the band clothes. That they're still at work. Her face twisted like I'd said something unforgivable. She snapped. Called me a liar, told me I was childish and manipulative. I stayed calm and apologized. I said I only lied because I felt pressured. I told her I didn't want to let go of something that brought me peace just because she couldn't accept it. She tried justifying it again, talking about how it was for my growth. But I didn't care anymore. I told her the way she pushed me made me feel small, like I wasn't enough unless I changed into what she wanted me to be. Then I brought up the job thing. I told her I knew she called my boss and that it wasn't okay. She tried to say she was just trying to help. Said she wanted more for me. I said I'm fine wanting less. Less stress, less pressure, less of this. And in that pause, that small silence where she was actually listening, I told her I didn't want to be with her anymore. Just like that. No build-up. I didn't raise my voice. I just said it straight. I don't want to do this anymore. She looked stunned, like the thought had never even crossed her mind. Then it hit her and she switched tones. Started saying we could fix it, that we didn't have to break up. But I stayed firm. For once, I didn't back down. I told her I'd already changed the locks. That I'd message her about picking up her stuff, and she could let me know when. She got up, called me pathetic, and slammed the door behind her. And just like that, it was done. I didn't feel happy. I didn't feel sad either. Just relieved. Like I could breathe again. Like I was finally allowed to be myself without someone picking me apart for it. After she left, I just sat there for a while. The silence was so loud, but it wasn't uncomfortable. It was kind of peaceful, honestly. Her stuff was still lying around the apartment, but she felt gone. Like really gone. And weirdly, that felt okay. I messaged her later that night. Told her I'd pack up her things and she could let me know when she wanted to pick them up. No response. Not sure if she's ignoring me or just doesn't care about her stuff. Either way, it's hers. I don't want it here. The next day, I called my boss and explained everything about her calling the store, the pressure she put on me. He wasn't surprised. Said he noticed the shift in me lately, that I seemed off. He told me to take time if I needed it. We've worked together for years and we're actually friends. He was supportive, told me I didn't owe anyone an explanation for how I choose to live. That hit hard. Because for months I'd been trying to justify myself to someone who never accepted me. I went back to the storeroom and opened those boxes. My band shirts were right where I left them. I sat there on a stool just looking at them. One by one, I pulled them out, folded them again properly. It felt like reclaiming a part of myself. I brought them back home, hung them up like they never left. And yeah, I'm still wearing the new clothes too. Some of them look good, and I like how I feel in them. But I'm not throwing out the old me to pretend to be someone I'm not. Breaking up sucked. No way around that. But staying would have been worse. It would have been slow death by compromise, piece by piece. I didn't want to wake up one day in a life that didn't feel like mine anymore. Since then, I've started reconnecting with friends. They were happy to hear from me, no judgment, no weirdness. Just pure, familiar friendship. The kind that makes you laugh till your stomach hurts. God, I missed that. I don't know exactly what's next for me, but I do know this. I'm not changing for someone else ever again. Improvement? Growth? Sure. But only on my own terms. Not because someone wants to mold me into something prettier for their Instagram feed. I might explore other work options eventually. Maybe freelance, maybe something flexible. But I'm not rushing into anything. For now, I'm just focusing on being comfortable in my own damn skin again.